She proudly raises her arm, waving her hand violently. I call on her excitedly. She vibrantly stands up and says, I'm gonna be a professional tetherball player. And at first I'm thinking that's so cute. There's something about the smile in the eyes of a 4th grade girl that could change a world from a post-colonial catastrophe to, believe it or not, a real happy place to be. And then I get excited, like understanding your purpose at life at like age 9 is more sublime than 40 ounces to freedom, and that too was a lesson I learned from KRS-One. Recess was at 1. And I decided to try and see this tetherball prodigy. Probably had to be the most amazing display of athleticism since Jordan from the free throw line. I mean, Nike should make shoes after her, and the logo would look like her smile. No throwies, no ropies, no holdies. She holds down court number 5, barely challenged by the bravest of 5th grade guys. And at this point, I'm not really surprised, cause if Muhammad Ali could knock down Joe Frazier, why couldn't she be better at tetherball and smarter than a 5th grader? I figured it might hit me later. But just as she wound up, punched the ball, rope wrapped high around the pole, the disappointment of her future punched my heart, and I felt guilty for getting high on her hope. Like, how do I tell her? There's no tetherball in junior high school or a National Tetherball Association. You've got 1 year left to play, then retire your jersey. You were once worthy, now reminisce on how good you were back when you had the magic. How do I tell her? There's no transatlantic flights from John F. Kennedy to London Heathrow. No heat, smoke, pyrotechnics as the announcer calls your name for the gold medal game. How do I tell her you'll have to use your brain just to make 75 cents to a man's dollar? Work so much harder and clearly be smarter just to have someone say he's better for this position than you. How do I tell her the truth? Don't just beat the boys, punish them dudes. Cause you, like the ball that brings joy to your soul, the men will forever try and wrap you to that pole. That doesn't mean you should start dancing with the pole. How do I tell her the things that I know? How do I tell her that one day she'll grow into her body and she's probably gonna look in the mirror in fear of the self-image because she was told she didn't have enough curves or too much curves? I want her to understand Chandra Mahanti and promptly insist her role as a transnational feminist in a gender-centered society. How do I tell her not to speak quietly? You don't have to smile if he so much as lays a hand on you, ball a fist at you, lose respect for you, or cuss at you, call you out of your name, then you leave him. Or turn Scott Peterson, beat him and swim him with the fishes. How do I tell her that yes, those rappers are talking about you when they calling you? How do I tell her that her value has nothing to do with her worth? Because worth, based on work, is ascribed by the likes of folks who'll never understand the complexity of you as a whole, while your precious value is based on the creative, breathing ingenuity of love into your soul. And so, she proudly raises her arm, waving her hand violently, and I call on her excitedly. Excitedly, she vibrantly stands up and asks, don't you think I could be the best tetherball player in the world? I said, sweetheart, you can do better than that. You can be a woman who changes the world. It's kinda easy when you're listening to the air black sound. Pioneer speakers bumping as I'm writing it down. I got the sounds for your mind, and it's easy to see that Nathan Soul Train.
Alright,
to speak.
how many people can ever heard? Oh, a lot of people. You what?
I wrote some.
You wrote some? Okay. What? Do you guys know any poetry?
I do.
You know? You memorize it?
I made one. That one?
Yeah, let's hear it.
I made one. It may have some. Mine's called I'll give you a piece.
Does it have any bad words?
No.
Okay.
Something else. Mine's called I don't understand.
Okay.
Scarface. Alright, it's all like I don't understand why people like Justin Bieber. I don't understand why people like Lady Gaga. I don't understand why people like Britney Spears.
He's bald.
The thing I don't understand is why there's no peace in there. But what I do understand is why we dance to songs and why we're happy.
Yeah.
So she doesn't have any